Hey, y'all. Welcome back. Welcome back. 40 Days of Love, day 22. Y'all, we on the downswing now. We made it halfway. We're over the hump. Day 22. Come on in. Come on in. Let's chat. We're briefly going over day 22 because there's a lot to unpack in day 23. Gonna need to spend a little bit of time here. If you have a notebook or bring your book, write some notes, just some things that really need to be discussed, some things that you really need to take a hard look at, because a lot of times we give ourselves passes to just do whatever we want to do. Well, here's the thing. When you're in marriage, you just don't do whatever you want to do. You now have another person who has come together as one with you, and we have to consider those individuals. If you do not wish to be married and you do not wish to have someone else involved in your business and you do not wish to have to consult anyone else, perhaps singleness is for you. Hey, ma'am, how are you? Good to see you. Glad everybody's here. Okay. Chime in. Let me know where you're chiming in from. Okay. Day 22, just as a brief recap. Hey, Miss Rose, good to see you. Today's there. So, right, what is today? It's 9 o'clock. We should have had plenty of time. Love is a choice. Hey, Miss Carla. Not a feeling. It is an initiated action, not an impulsive reaction. Choose today to be committed to love, even if your spouse has lost most of their interest in receiving it. Say to them today in words similar to these: I love you, period. And no matter what you do, I will never stop loving you. Did anybody get that accomplished today? Anybody? And I know what it's like to, love is like, it's fluid. And sometimes you have highs and you have lows. And sometimes it's still, the water's not moving. And sometimes it's, rocky and it's splashing. Just think about when you put a toddler in the bathtub. They are very excited about that water and they splashing around. Think about that as the first part of marriage. We're so excited to be married. We're just having the best time. You leave them in there long enough, and what ends up happening is the water gets cold, so they don't want to be in there anymore. You leave them in there too long. Now their fingers and toes are all shriveled up. They look real prunish, right? They don't like that too much anymore. It's if they become, their fingers and toes become a little disfigured. The bubbles are gone. So now all of the excitement is gone. So they don't know if they love that too much. And then you have the option to keep them in longer, or you drain the water out and you take them out. Then you get them dried off and you get them all nice and warm again. So marriage can be exciting, then it's not, and then it's exciting again, and then it's not. And they're excited to be dressed and in their warm, comfy jammies, but they don't want to go to bed, right? So they're excited to be up again. And it's like this. But what we do when we choose every day is we choose to go on the roller coaster. I hate theme parks. Don't ever ask me to go to a theme park. I am not your theme park partner. I'm the best bag holder that there ever was. I don't enjoy the roller coaster of theme parks. But I do believe that in the area of love, you have highs and lows. And then I think you also have times when people accept you and they don't. And there's also, again, misunderstanding. So now we mad and you not, and we don't understand and you won't explain. And so you just have, it's just those highs and lows. But no matter what I'm going through, I still choose you every single day. Marriage for me, I got to fit this in my vows somewhere. I choose you every day. When it's good, I choose you. When it's not good, I choose you. When the money's good, I choose you. When the money's not good, I choose you. When your body ain't working, I choose you. When your body is working overly, I choose you. I choose you with all your kids, with all your whatever. I choose you. And if somebody cannot say that to me, or I can't say that to them, then we should not be together at all. Well, Shakima, you make marriage sound just so easy. It is not easy, but it is always worth it when you find the right individual. My daughter is 19. She'll be 20 on Monday. And she was asking me, she said, Mom, so why is it that certain people didn't, they had multiple relationships and they didn't just wait to find the right person? I said, well, society teaches us we have to date. We got to date a lot of people. You should be dating somebody every week, every day, every other day, and not the same person. You should have choice. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And she's like, well, why so-and-so and them didn't do it this way? I was like, well, that's because they were influenced by other people. I believe you can set your standard, do what you're doing, live in your life. And while you're living, you can find a person who is either matching your energy, doing the same thing, living their life in their purpose, all that, and y'all can come together and find each other. I don't believe you have to go through 15, 20 different people before you find the right person. I just don't believe that. But that does seem to be the way that things are going. Or I'm good for a 5-minute fling. You don't have forever for me. I'm not a 5-minute fling. This is forever, right? I'm a commitment. I am a commitment. And we got to make that commitment to somebody else. Because I am such a commitment, I'm going to commit to you as well. Okay. Okay, Purple Rain said, and how long have you been married, ma'am? Before I got married, someone told me marriage isn't work. I asked them, then what is it? It's not perfect because it's a unity between two imperfect people. Absolutely true. But someone also said this. This is very true. If you find something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. If you do something that you love, you'll never work a day in your life. I go to work every day, but I love what I do. So I never well, let me say never. I do have a rough day every now and then, but I don't go to work hating my job. It's not something that I do. I don't hate. Oh, very nice. I don't hate my job. I don't hate the work I do. I love what I get to do, and I get to do it in multiple places with different students. I get to work in 3 separate schools. I have about 1,500 students altogether, and I'm seeing those students, and maybe a few more. I'm seeing those students every other day in whatever school, and I just love my job. So I don't consider it work. I call it that because that's the title people give it. But I would go there and do what I do every single day just because I enjoy what I do. When I do my ministry work, I love it. I don't get paid a dime to do ministry, nothing. Now, if people want to bless me, that's their right. But I don't take up offerings and all that every day or every time I preach or something like that. I'll come on here. I've been on here for 22 days now, and I've not taken up an offering once. I haven't put my Cash App up, but I love this because I'm invested. I put time into this because I'm going to reap a harvest in my marriage, right? So I think that it's deceptive to say it's not work, because you do have to put some skin in the game. None of us are going to lose weight and we just sitting over here stuffing our face with bonbons every day. You got to get up and you got to get moving, or you got to change your diet, or you got to go to the gym. You have to put some skin in. But whatever you're doing to invest here, you should expect to receive a return on that investment. And that's just how I look at marriage these days. But even if it is work, am I willing to put in the work with you? Do I want you as my coworker? Because we work with plenty of people that we would not take on. Like, honey, this right here, we in this cubicle all day, and that's as much of you as I'm trying to do. But is my marriage worth, if I see it as work, are you the coworker I want to be connected to? That's a question we have to ask ourselves. So be thinking about, if you haven't done today's dare, do it now. Day 23 is an affirmation day. Going back to those A's: affirmation, apology, affection, attention, abiding. 5 A's. There might be 7 of them. I might be missing one. I think they're 5. Day 23, this is for tomorrow. It says, love always protects. It always protects. Love always protects, according to 1 Corinthians 13:7. It says, no couple gets married as enemies. They tie the knot filled with hopes of a lifetime of love, but the high rate of divorce reveals that after a couple walks down the aisle, they are stepping into a minefield of marital obstacles that can take them out. Either one. It can take you out. It can take them out. Sadly, every marriage has enemies out there. So I didn't marry my spouse to be their enemy, but our marriage has enemies. It is very clear, even from the garden, When God gave Eve to Adam and he set them in the garden and gave them work, shared work. Now, here comes the snake. Here comes the snake. And the snake starts talking. Surely God didn't say, do you think he said that? Well, you may think he meant that. I don't think he meant that. Surely he didn't mean that, because I've been here longer than you. I know you just came up on the scene, but I've been here for a few weeks. I don't think he meant that. I heard him say something else. You know what I'm saying? So don't think for 1 minute that your marriage doesn't have enemies. But remember, you don't marry your enemy. But if you're not mindful and conscientious about who you have around you, who you have in your ear, what you're putting into your eye gates, your ear gates, what you are allowing to infect your soul, then you are going to become an enemy to your spouse. Because Amos 3:3 says, how can two walk together lest they be in agreement? Sometimes when we let all this other outside interference noise comes in, it changes the direction of the way we're walking. We started out going the same direction, but couples will say, our goals have changed. We're not on the same wavelength. We're not in the same plan. Well, what plan are you on? And who changed your mind? Because when we first started this thing, we were together. The Bible tells us in Habakkuk 2:2, write the vision and make it plain, that them who read it might run with it. Do you have, I think it was not this year, but last year maybe, I was asking the ladies in Titus 2, do you have a strategic strategy for your marriage? I have a plan of work for my business. I have a plan of work for the ministry. I have a plan of work for, every business money making venture. But do you have a plan or strategic plan for your marriage? Do you have a strategic plan for how you plan to raise your children? Do you have a strategic plan on how you plan to spend your money? And we never think about that till after the fact. We're trying to play catch up instead of staying caught up. How about that, Holy Ghost? Come on through, Jesus. You playing catch up instead of staying caught up with what's going on in their life. Where are they? Hey, can we check in? Even if you do a once a week check-in, I always encourage couples to take Sunday evening. Sunday is the start of your week. I don't know how you plan it. You might be Sabbath on Saturday, whatever. But when you look at the calendar week, Sunday is the first day. So that's how I do it. Sunday's the first day. I need to check in with you. We may not have every day to do this check-in, but on Sunday, I need you to block off an hour. I'm blocking off an hour, and we're doing a couple things. I need to check your calendar and your schedule so I know where you are and you know where I am in case we need to coordinate. I got the kids. You need the kids. Where we going to meet? We need all that information. Who needs what? Who got a field trip? All that. You need laundry picked up from the dry clean, whatever, grocery day. I need all that. The second thing I need to check in about is my finances. Where we at with money? How you feeling? You got enough to make it through the week? We got enough to make it through this week? Are all the bills paid? Did we do everything that needs to be done? So my calendar, my finances. And the third thing, which I want to spend most of my time on, is where are you? Where are you? And where are we? What need have I left unmet for you this week or last week? Where can I best support you? Do you need mental? Do you need physical? Do you need spiritual? What you need, tell me so that I can provide what you need. Because I keep saying this, and people don't really think it until it happens to them. If you're not taking care of your spouse spiritually, mentally, and physically, somebody else is waiting to take your turn. They are waiting to step in. The cleanup woman. Okay. Betty Wright made a song. My mama said, I know you're not about to sing that song. Oh, yeah, she is. Well, that was a different song, but still Betty Wright. The cleanup woman is a woman who get all the man love. Yeah, when you ain't acting right. Right? So we got to do that. And if we don't do those specific things, then there is an enemy out here waiting to just cause havoc in your relationship. And a lot of times what happens is we have not armored up. You have not put on the full armor of God. So you are now exposed to every, every offensive wound that the enemy wants to give you. When a soldier, we love to listen to those types of books, my kids and I, when we drive. When a soldier puts on their armor, the way the armor is made is so that they can move a tiny bit. There are little chinks in the armor, right? You have little openings. but they put on something beneath the armor before they put the actual armor on. It's called chainmail. And chainmail, it is exactly what it is. It's like a shirt made of chains. And they put it over their head and it comes up like the turtleneck, because when you put the helmet on, then the neck is not exposed. So if somebody comes against you and they try to, chop you in the neck, it hits the chainmail. It's metal. And so that's an extra layer of protection between the arm joints. So somewhere underneath of here, right? You put on your chainmail shirt, then you put your armor on top, and then your shield goes on. Some of us go into battle so unprepared, or to be more truthful, we don't even know we're in a battle until something has come against our marriage. So I wanted to go down the list of the things that he talked about in this section. He says, that's why love compels us. And compel means it forces you or it obliges someone to do something. Compel is a verb. That means you have to put something into action. I've got to do something. In your marriage, you cannot, there's no luxury for passivity in marriage. You have to be actively involved, actively engaged, actively listen, actively participate, actively make some changes. It's all activity. In a marriage, somebody's always given something. Verbs mean you do. Those are do words. So love compels us to be alert and on guard, and to guard what is most important and precious to us. To be willing to step up and fight some battles passionately, those that pertain to protecting our spouse and the strength of our union. You have to be so steadfast in your understanding and in your commitment. Nothing is going to come against this marriage. Nothing. Well, that's my mama. I love you. But the Bible says, leave your father and mother and cleave unto your wife. I love my mother too. But it didn't tell me I was married to her. A lot of times your allegiance is you misaligned because your allegiance has been to somebody else instead of the person you pledged your life to. And we get it so many times, especially with kids. I love all of my children. God bless them in Jesus' name. Ooh, I'm so glad that the last one is just about to be out. They all out except this last one. Even though sister stays at home, she's 19. She's going to be 20 on Monday. Brother is 14. I'm at the end of this raising kids thing. But some of us have so put our spouse to the side because of our children. We have never been taught your priority in marriage is your spouse. My priority is my children. My oldest daughter used to get so upset with me because I had told my children, when I get married, my allegiance is to my husband. So you telling me you going to pick a man over your kid? I am. I am telling you that, just so you know. I'm going to wear a shirt. My husband is my priority, because the truth of the matter is, I didn't make a covenant with you. I made a covenant with him. I pledged everything I have to this person. And so I'm going to give them everything I got. Now, the other issue that most people have is they don't know how to manage themselves or their time. I can pledge my allegiance to my spouse and still love my children. I love you enough to show you what a good marriage looks like. Love you enough to show you what a husband and a wife should be and do for one another. Love you enough to not handicap you and put you on this pedestal that I know is not going to stay that way, because God said I will have no other gods before me, including my children. So why do I put you up here when he's going to take you down anyway? And I'm just going to be cleaved unto my husband. But we've not been taught some of this. Some of us have had no teaching. The Bible tells us in Titus chapter 2, verse 3-5, and likewise the older women shall teach the younger women. The part that we're missing is there are no older women willing to teach the younger women, or the younger women ain't willing to learn from the older women. So the older women out here trying to teach and the younger women not trying to learn. And so they making it up as they go. Okay, perfect. Whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do. So this comment says, I fought very hard for my husband for 34 years, prayers and tears. Finally couldn't do it anymore. He didn't want to help. Apparently, he just doing the same things over and over. Exactly. And that is just one of those things, right? He talks about in this particular section that's one of those addictions and one of those things that you have to always be on guard about. Again, there are some things that none of us are willing to walk through. When you've given it everything you had, and I mean everything you've had, at the end of the day, whatever decision you make, whether that's to stay or to go, you have to stand before the Lord for that. I was the one who filed for divorce on my husband. He left me, but here's what I didn't want, y'all, and I'm not perfect in this, but I'm telling you my truth. He may never have seen this. We have not discussed it, and it ain't for him. This was for me. When he left me, I could not allow my husband to go out there and commit adultery, being with another woman, because I was not being with him. We were done. It was over. Done the end. You would not be here again. Period. And it's been 14 years. And in 14 years, there ain't been nobody. So I didn't want him, because I knew he was going to have to stand before God. And so I could not in my right mind stay married to him, knowing that he had certain needs that I just couldn't meet. I was done. I was at the end of my rope. But I also knew that I was going straight to hell for divorcing my husband. It took a lot of prayer, a lot of scripture, and a lot of healing for me to get out of that thought pattern. I had to get out of that thought pattern. God is not going to send me to hell because I got divorced. He said Moses permitted it and he'll permit it too because of whatever reasons. Let me see. Okay, this comment said, I was telling my husband that no one taught me that my husband is my priority, even with children. Absolutely, because that is what we are told, is exactly what we are told. After I left, had no choice, I found out. And again, it's one of those things, right? We can't force anybody to feel, to do. Can I say this? And I say this with as much tenderness as I can. My mother is passed away. She passed away in 2019. So I was the only child, my mother's only child. My father has other children. My mother's only child. And my mother swore up and down she loved me. And I was the best thing, the love of her life. But can I tell you, that was not the truth. She loved something more than me. And it was that next hit. It was that next. As much as she loved me, she didn't love me enough to put it down. She only put it down at the end of her life because she was forced to. Because in my house, I don't have no alcohol. I don't have nothing in here. There's no smoking. There's no nothing. And because she wasn't in her place, she knew she couldn't do anything over here. And so that was the only reason. So we can't force people to feel any type of way about us. All we can do is be the best us we can be and give out to other people what we would want to receive. And you just have to reconcile yourself that he's gone his way. Unfortunately for you, he's not shown care and concern. But I would hope and pray that the Lord has put people in your life to care and concern for you at this point. And, he's missed an opportunity. But even in that, the Lord can still redeem when he wants to and when the person is willing. So this is the next comment. It says, now that they are grown, I'm having to refocus him as a priority, which he should have always been. Very true, Yolanda, because most people don't see it until it's too late. That's why when you get to empty nest stage, we should not be just trying to renew the relationship with our spouses. We should keep that thing going the whole time so that we're not trying to renew something after the children move. The children are like, okay, well, with mom and dad, we moving out. What y'all gonna do? We got our plan, honey. We've been waiting for y'all to go for years. Now, baby, we can ready to travel. We gonna do all this. No, we not keeping your bad kids because we got stuff that, you know what I'm saying? We making our plans while these babies is little, honey. We gonna do our very best to raise these children. But what we not gonna do is forget about each other while we doing it. Because it's like swimming upstream. right? It's like swimming upstream. Have you ever seen the salmon run? When the salmon spawn and they have their babies and now it's time to go up the stream. It's like trying to swim against the current. That's why so many bears get fat right after hibernation season, because the salmon are swimming upstream, and that push is so hard that the bears can just catch them. They like, whoop, one, whoop, there's another one. You'll see them just half eating salmon and they'll throw it away and get another one. I'm trying so hard to fight this current to get up here, because the bear gonna eat me if I don't. And if I don't make it up here, I'm gonna die anyway. I'm trying to get up here. That's what it's like trying to play catch up on your marriage when you should have already been caught up. I'm trying to catch up and I should have stayed caught up. It's like laundry. Laundry is a never-ending nemesis in my house, and it can be spilling over and we still have laundry. If we would just fold it load by load, we would not have so much to catch up on. But you can't convince me because I like the way I'm doing it. No, you don't. No, you don't. Okay. All right. So let's go to some of these, and I'm just going to spend a little time here because these are important. He said, okay, those that pertain to protecting our spouse and the strength of our union. Many things could destroy our relationship unless our love puts on armor and picks up a sword to protect its own. He said, here are a few things that could come against your marriage. This is not an exhaustive list. There could be more. He said, responsibility, not passivity, is the key to guarding against the following issues. You have to take responsibility. You have to take responsibility. One thing is misplaced priorities. We've kind of talking about that a little bit in the chat. He says, any good thing that has a potential to become harmful if it becomes all consuming, right? Anything, friends, hobbies, work, even your children, parents. Well, who's going to sit in the front? My wife or my mother? Truth is, your wife should be in the front, but if she's gracious enough to allow your mother to sit up there, there is no unspoken, unwritten expectation that the next time the same thing is going to happen. Your allegiance shifts from parents. Parents now become the role of advisor, advisee. You know, the Bible says there's safety in a multitude of counsel. They could become counsel if they are good people to give counsel. Everybody ain't good for that. But you could have misplaced priorities. Everybody needs, one of the things we talk about is I need downtime. I need me time. I need self-care. Self-care is good, except when you taking baths for 3 hours every night and your husband has to he work all day, you stay home, then he got to come home, take the kids, wash the kids, bathe the kids, feed the kids, wash the dishes, because you still having me time every night of the week. You're out of balance, sis. It's out of balance. Even church. You in church 6 nights a week. I love God. God is in my house as well. Your marriage, your home is your first ministry. But we weren't taught that, especially those of us who was raised in church. You was in church every time the door opened, or you surely going to hell. Friends, hobbies, work schedules. He says, when parents invert, even your children, while obviously a key priority, should be raised on the foundation of your strong marriage. When parents invert this and prioritize the kids above the marriage, they actually hurt their children in the long run as the marriage is weakened. One of the most commonly heard excuses for divorce is it's best for the children. But what's best for the children is seeing their mom and dad demonstrate unconditional love for each other. Keep their commitments, work out their differences, forgive and preserve a legacy of endurance. Unhealthy relationships. This was a good one. Not everybody. Unhealthy relationships. Not everybody is here for your marriage. There's so many people trying to get in your ear to talk about, what he not doing, what he didn't provide, this, that, and the other. There's just so many unhealthy relationships. There's a lot of married people that because they still have one foot in singlehood, they want to hang out with single friends. Now, I'm not saying you can't hang out with single friends. I have married friends that I see them every now and then, but I don't make them my priority because their life is different than mine. I don't have a husband. I can go anytime I feel like it. And sometimes we make friends feel guilty. Oh, girl, you got to go home already? Oh, God, well, we just got here. We ain't even been here for 3 hours yet. You got to go home. Listen, sometimes you have to trade in those friends for new friends. It doesn't mean you can't take the occasional girls' weekend, but I can go on a girls' weekend once a month. You might not can fit it in, but once a year. So everybody is not here for your marriage. There are some women who are envious of your marriage and at any turn will do anything to get you unmarried, just like them. Girl, you really don't need it. I don't even know why you got married. Like, girl, why? Okay. So that's one. You got to be on guard about that. He says, not everyone has the material to be a good friend. That's true. Some people just, they're not for you. And they're definitely not for your marriage. So you got to understand who is who and what is what. And there comes a point in time where you got to have a cutoff ministry. No, boo, you're not in this plan of what I'm trying to do. You cut off right now. No, we can't fellowship. We can still talk every now and then, text every now and then. Text relationships. I'm texting 10 hours out the day. I'm sleeping for 7. So that's 17 hours. I don't have no time for anything else. It's just out of proportion. I can't do it. Harmful influences. Are you allowing certain habits to poison your home? He talked about technology, television, and the internet. There are some things on the internet that you just don't need to be out here watching. I've listened to Dr. R.A. Vernon out of Cleveland, Ohio. He has the Word Church. He says there's certain apps he just delete off his phone because he already knows what's out here. I mean, I was watching something the other day, and I have to ask myself, because I do a lot of clothing videos, but am I willing? Here's a question, Shakima. Am I willing to do a try-on video where all my bra and panties is out? Even wearing my robe, am I even willing to do? For what? For views? For views? And I thought, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff just, it's so free now. It's free. It's out here. It's not considered, risque, but it is, because you're seeing all manner of body parts and everything. And we doing bra reviews, and then I've been asked several times to do like slimmies and under things. I'm like, ma'am, I'm gonna have to put my body out here on the front street. It is not finna happen for Shaquille, not for me. And because I respect my husband enough, because anything I do pre-marriage he's going to be able to see it out here in these internet streets, honey. He gonna be able to go back and look at it. There's a digital record of this. My digital footprint is all over social media. He'll be able to see it. I can't do it. So we have to be real careful with what we're watching, what we're allowing into our home, the music that we enjoy, all of that. He talked about temptations, intimate temptations. He says, be on guard all the time from allowing opposite sex relationships. Men can be friends with women. Women can have men best friends. I believe that anybody can have a friendship. But I believe that there are things that sometimes cross the line. Say, for instance, your wife has had a baby. And we all know there's a customary 6 weeks wait period before you supposed to be dibbling and dabbling back together. So wife goes to the doctor. The doctor say, well, things are not where I need them to be. I'm gonna need you to be about a few more weeks. Give it 2 more weeks and then we'll recheck everything. Hubby done been waiting a long time. He got needs. And I'm not even counting. I'm counting them 8 weeks, but we're not talking about them 3 months. She was on bed rest where nothing could go on. So this man, you talking about 5-6 months. He ain't had nothing. Now, all of a sudden, he goes to work. And Brenda is there, and she is listening to his woes me stories, and she wears the right stuff every day, and she get her hair done and her nails be done, and she smell nice. And he just like, ooh. So now they eating lunch together, and the next thing you know, One thing led to another. Y'all go to the gym and wear anything. We just anything at the gym. I get it. You want to be comfortable. You want to make sure that you can, not be all inhibited by your clothes, but you got on no drawers. You ain't got on. I mean, you wearing nothing. Your sweat is running down the crack of your thong, and everybody can see it. You out here pumping and squatting and BBW and Ellen and trying to get stuff to grow and glutes and everything. And Polar Baby can't. I mean, he can. I'm not saying that men don't have watch over their eyes. They do. We all have that. But some women are out here specifically looking to do these types of things. And what has happened at home? Well, I'm married. What do I need to get my hair done for? I already got a man. Why do I need to get my nails done? I got a man. Why do I even need to shower every day? I got a man. Well, before you had the man, you were showering every day and you were getting your hair done and your nails was done and you wore nice clothes and you smelled really good. I'm like team, yoga pants every now and then, but even if you're going to wear yoga pants, wear a nice oversized shirt, throw on a pair of fluffy socks and do your hair, at least put your makeup on, do something to keep his attention, because there's somebody else that is going to gain his attention if you don't. He talked about this, which was really good. You have a lot of people out here on social media now sliding and slipping and dipping in inboxes. Honey, we is looking at old friends. I get friend requests from people all the time. And the one question I have is, do I even know this person? Like, you didn't talk to me in high school. Why you want to be friends with me now? And I know some people don't like that. Oh, that's so mean. You shouldn't be like that. Wait a minute. We were not friends then. And we were together for 4 years in the same classes, the same hallways, the same school. I'm from a small town. And now all of a sudden, because I done got the glow up or whatever you think it is over here, or you think I'm desperate because I ain't got a man, you just trying to slide on in. Honey, slide somewhere else. Slide somewhere else. Sometimes you don't need your own social media. I see a lot of husband and wives do together social media because that's just where we are. I'm not saying you have to do that. If you have access to all of his stuff, he has access to all of your stuff. Good. Ain't no hiding. We ain't got no secrets. I could slide in the message requests and see who around there trying to request stuff. Or when it comes in, you say, hey, babe, come here. Let me show you. So you'll see this, and then he can handle it. However he want to handle it. You want to talk to me and my wife? Is that what you say? Is that your proposal here, sir? Right? So that's a thing. You just have to be very mindful. And I'm just telling you, some of this stuff that people are putting out here on Instagram, TikTok, all these places, it is just so enticing because we're not doing what we used to do. Same goes for men. You don't let yourself go, got a beer belly, a beer gut, looking like somebody old granddaddy. Don't go get the haircut no more. You don't smell good. You ain't took a bath in 4 days. What is going on here, sir? What is going on? And then I can go online and I'm seeing 6 packs and 12 packs, and child, this man got 24 packs, and honey did curves and all the things, and it is what it is, right? And you just have to make sure that you're mindful of what is out here. He says, any relationship that is drawing your attention away from your spouse has already gone too far. Y'all talking all the time, you texting all the time, you giggling and laughing every time you see his name come up on your phone. We already went there. We already went there. And that is the truth of the matter. I will tell you this. I know right after I got separated, I was separated and we were heading for divorce. An old friend from an old friend popped into my inbox, and I responded in email, and we emailed back and forward every day for like 2 straight weeks, 14 straight days. And we would email several times a day. So it's like having a conversation. And the Lord said to me, you're not divorced. You're still married. But we were separated. We weren't living in the same house. Nothing. Nope. And that thing convicted me so bad. And I remember writing my final email. I said, listen, I have enjoyed this conversation. I mean, he was telling me all the stuff I wanted to hear, honey. All the stuff nobody else said it. And he was saying it. He's spitting game left and right. Child, I had slobber all over my face from all that spit he was doing. I was like, praise the Lord. Woo, honey. I was feeling real good. And the Lord convicted me. And I said, I have enjoyed our conversations. It was so great to catch up with you, but I am still married. I said, in 1 year from now, email me again. Because in North Carolina, you have to be separated a year before you can even file for divorce. So I said, in a year from now, email me again. And that was the end of that. Because it was wrong. Well, Shakima, your husband wasn't in the house. I get that. But I was still in covenant with that man. We were still connected. And well, what if he was doing? Wasn't my response? He is not my responsibility. I'm my responsibility. I'm the one who has to stand before the Lord and say, I did this, 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 and this. And I love God way too much to have to go back to him and say, Lord, yes, I was doing it, and I was doing it because I wanted to. And this is what I did, and I would do it again. Not Shakima. For the first couple days, week, whatever, it just seemed like, hey, I'm separated. Fine. But when the Lord came to me and said, you're still married. Whoop. Okay. I don't need no more remembrances, reminders. I'm good, Jesus. So not perfect over here. I'm telling people, I'm trying to help you avoid the missteps that I stepped in. And I know I'm going long tonight. I apologize. We got to talk about this stuff. Okay, shame. He says, everyone deals with some level of inferiority and weakness. And because marriage has a way of exposing it all to you and your mate, you need to protect your wife or your husband's vulnerability by never speaking negatively about them in public. Their secrets are your secrets. Unless, of course, it is in destructive behavior. In those instances, you need to tell somebody. But you don't need to tell your girlfriend who gossip, because she's telling everybody. You need to go and find somebody that can help you, a trusted spiritual leader, a parent that is a spiritual leader, a counselor. So, if it's for their good, go tell the law. If it's going to save them, I know you don't want nobody to be going to the penitentiary and you trying to put money on their books, but if it's going to save their life, report them. Many a days I thought if I would have just reported my mama, it would have saved her life. She would have hated me, but it would have saved her life. And I just didn't have enough guts to do it, because I knew my family would hate me. And I knew that I was going to have consequences and repercussions from those actions, but it would have saved her life. Generally speaking, love hides the faults of others. It covers over their shame. Then he talks about parasites. He says, watch out for parasites. That's anything that latches onto you or your partner and sucks the life out of your marriage. That's any type of addiction of any kind. That's gambling. That's that 40-20, 420, 40-20 child. I don't even know what it is. That's alcohol. That's girly movies. Listen, let me tell you something. That stuff don't have no business. It don't have no business. Can I tell you? Can I just say that I don't even know a whole lot, but I'm gonna tell you this. Don't matter whatever you watching on that screen. We cannot be recreating all this over here, honey. I am too old, child. It's destructive, because they're gonna you're holding me now to the standard that I can never live up to. You want me to do what? What? And you're trying to get your neck to connect with what in the world? I can't do it. And it will suck the life out of you, because I can never be that thing. This is who I am. This is what you married. Now, I am a firm believer that a husband and a wife, especially when you first marry, have got to learn each other. But that's the fun of being married. We get to practice quite a lot, and nobody gonna say nothing. Can you come over? We cannot. We are otherwise occupied. Y'all coming to dinner tomorrow night? I don't think we'll be available. We are busy right now. You see what I'm saying? But all this acrobatics and stuff you done seen, and folks slipping and sliding around stuff, who got time for all that? You know, I get that, Miss Peggy, but I will say this. Everybody desires companionship. You may need time. And we all need time. It took me 14 years. It took 6 years before the Lord would even allow me to even think about another man. So I would say maybe we're not opening that door at the moment, but don't close it altogether, because we don't know what God has for us down the line. And we never want to make an inner vow that we can't keep or that we have to live with. I ain't never gonna get married again. Okay. And here comes somebody trying to marry you up, and he the best thing ever happened, and I ain't never getting married again. I couldn't say that because I knew and know that marriage was for me, but I did need time. I needed to evaluate. I needed to process all that I went through and all that I took somebody through. I needed to get myself together. And now, all these years later, I feel like I am in the best position to be somebody's wife. Back then, I didn't know nothing from nothing. Today, I know a whole lot more than I did. And I still know that it's going to be a growing and learning process with a totally new person. But I'm in a totally different space of my life. And so should they be. So, I get that. I had a lady, a friend of mine who I was separated, divorced. She was separated, divorced. She was like, girl, I don't even want a man. Wasn't too long before she was popped up in here married. I was like, oh, okay. I see you, girl. You don't want a man. Okay. But she's married now. But we all desire companionship of some kind. It may not be another marriage, but I don't want you to close yourself off to the possibilities of what God would have. Miss Rose had a good point. She said, yet some think separation is permission to date. I think many don't understand they're still married. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, ma'am. Now, I'm not about to let you slide on this one, friend. Oh, no, ma'am. Shakima is coming down your block. I'm going to stop in your driveway and I'm going to beep, beep. Okay, I'm 62. I think I'm too old. I've lost those years, but I don't regret it. No, ma'am. Listen to me. A very good friend of mine. We were having a chat several months ago. And she was like, I'm 61 and I just think I missed the boat. And I said to her, don't tear up your ticket. The boat comes back around. And it was not a few weeks ago. She didn't have no desire for it. She was happy, content in her life. A few weeks ago, because this was our conversation several months ago, a few weeks ago, she said to me, I got a friend. And it's just a friend. And I was like, really? But her face just lights up. She beams every time she mentions her friend. She shared with us, with several of the ladies, about her friend. And she said, Shakima, I just never thought. I never thought. And who's to say, God had a plan. God has a plan for all of his children. All of us. It could be at 62, you have done all the things. It could be. But look at Miss Rose coming through one more time. She said 10 years later, after my late husband, I desire companionship now. And I'm 70. It just took time. And it's not a replacement. It's none of that. It is companionship for where I am at the moment. It may not culminate in a marriage. It may not culminate in anything other than somebody to take a meal with, somebody to go to a different place so I don't got to go by myself with. I like this, Purple Rain. She said, I was very self-righteous. Absolutely. I probably was the co-president of the club. Let me tell you something. Co-president. Yes, Lord. I've done it right, and I'm telling you how to do it right too, and your right way is wrong. I'm just all the things, and God has really had to come in. I like your other comment about self-reflecting. I spent a lot of time just, Lord, show me Shakima. Lord, show me what I need to do, what I need to say, how I need to be better, how I can fix myself. I could so nitpick other people's lives, but I'm enough work by myself. And so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to figure out the best course of action for my life. And I hope along the journey that I'm doing my level best to help other people. If I ever come off as telling y'all what you can and cannot do, please correct me, because I ain't nobody mama around here but these kids I got. But I will tell you this, there are landmines that we all can step in unless somebody has marked out the path clear for us. And they're like, oop, there's one. Okay, I'm following this instruction. Oop, there's another one. Side step it this way, side step it that way, right? Don't do it. He says he's still talking about the parasites. They promise pleasure but grow like a disease and consume more and more of your thoughts, your time, and your money. Where your heart is, your money is there. Absolutely. And it's all about what it is God's will. Miss Rose said 10 years later, 10 years, not 10 minutes, 10 days, 10 months, 10 weeks, 10 years. It's been 14 years for me since my ex left. And it took me a long time to get Shakima together, a long time, 14 years. And I'm still working on me every day. But my desire is there. You know what I mean? I never want to cut off what God intends for me. I believe that marriage is a part of my journey. I really do. I just wasn't married to the person that should have walked the journey with me in the first place. So that was my misstep. I did not hear right. I wasn't even in the fellowship to even hear. I wasn't following the Lord at that time. I was doing what I wanted to do. He says they steal away your loyalty and your heart from those you love. Marriage rarely survives if parasites are present. If you love your spouse, you must destroy any addiction that has your heart. If you don't, it will destroy you. So as a wife, realize that you have a role to protect your marriage. You have to guard your heart from being led away through novels, magazines, entertainment, social media, anything that blurs your perception of your reality and puts unfair expectations on your husband. Do your part in helping him to feel strong while avoiding talk shows, thinking that lures your attention away from your family or the Real Housewives or wherever they at this week, honey, because that's crazy. The wise woman builds her house, but a foolish woman tears it down with her hands, according to Proverbs 14:1. We can be self-destructive, and we can be house destructive, and we can be marriage destructive, and we can be parent destructive. We can tear it down better than anybody else. And husbands, you are the head of the home. You are the one responsible before God for guarding the gate and standing your guard against anything that would threaten your wife or your marriage. This is no small assignment. It requires a heart of courage and a head for preemptive action. Jesus said, if the head of the house had known at what time of the night the thief was coming, he would have been on alert and would have not allowed the house to be broken into, according to Matthew 24:43. This role is yours. Take it seriously. So I really want to just kind of break down some of those. You can go back and read those for yourself. So tomorrow's day 23. Remove anything that is hindering your relationship, any addiction or influence that is stealing your affection and turning your heart away from your spouse. So one quick story and then I'm done. I'm going to be done in 8 minutes or less. So in the movie Fireproof, one of the things that is coming into the marriage is the husband spends a lot of time on the internet. He's looking at girly things and it's consuming lots of hours. Video games is another one. Husbands, video games, hours in video games. Come on now, let that go. But he's spending all this time on the internet. And he goes out to take the trash out every day. And his neighbor across the street is this little old man. And he's married to his little old wife. And they just loving each other. And every day he sees Caleb come out the house. And he says, hey, Caleb. And Caleb's like, hey, Mr. So-and-so. And every day he does that. And this man thinks he is crazy. Well, one day when he got that revelation, I don't know what day he was on, must have been day 23. He gets the revelation that he doesn't need to be on these girly sites no more. He don't need to be doing all that. So this man has watched Caleb come outside every day to this trash can. Today, Caleb has brought his computer outside and he has a bat. And he takes the bat and he begins to bam the computer to death. He just bamming the computer. He breaking it up. Parts are flying everywhere. The parts are flying everywhere. And he's exhausted with bamming up this computer. And he's just breathing hard. He's like, and he turns around and the neighbor is staring at him and he goes, hey, Caleb. He's like, I'm over here doing what the Lord told me to do. And you just standing right there. Oh, it was so funny. But sometimes it's what you have to do. You got to take everything out and you got to destroy it. You have to destroy it. There's this thing out now that, especially for saved women, those women in the church, we can't dress a certain way. We can't wear this. Everybody else can wear it but us. So I've decided for me that I'm going to wear what makes me look comfortable, but does not dishonor God and does not dishonor my husband. You don't have a husband, Shakima. Again, everything, I have a digital footprint. He'll be able to see it. But I am going to be sexy. I am going to be attractive. And I used to never say the word sexy. I thought that was a bad word. It was almost like saying the F-bomb. I just couldn't say it. I could not say sexy for years because I thought it was wrong. I was taught it was wrong. I couldn't wear red lipstick because it was wrong. I couldn't wear an anklet because temple prostitutes wore anklets on their leg that had little bells on them so that people would know who was for sale and who wasn't. And so I wouldn't even wear anklets on my ankle because I never wanted to be seen as that. But I have decided that I'll check with the Lord. Okay, God, is this, my birthday's in 2 weeks. My birthday's in 8 days, actually. And I ordered a few new pieces. And some of them people might not think you should wear. One is just like above the knee. It's not anything crazy. And one is off the shoulder. And I'm going to wear it because it's going to make me feel good. And I know that if I wore those items with my husband, it would make him feel good because I would be looking like I'm supposed to be with this man. So you deal with that whichever way you need to deal with it. But if sweatpants is all you wear, well, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate. If sweatpants is all he ever get to see. Now, certain things that I will not wear, being a woman of God, being a pastor and all those types of things. But if I'm going out to dinner with my man, I'm going to wear an off the shoulder thing. When it comes to wearing an off the shoulder for date night, I'm going to wear it. I'm going to wear it. That's what I'm going to do. And don't judge me. That's what I got to say. Okay. All right, y'all. Get rid of it. Magazines, certain social media posts, people, you following them, unfollow. Chat, and it just pops up. You don't even know. You just don't even know. I saw this one thing on Instagram, and when I looked, I'm like, how is this on regular Instagram? Like, what is this? And all I typed in was a podcast person that I had followed because I was trying to find a certain interview that he did. But when you type in his podcast, this other stuff showed up. And I'm like, what in the devil? So you don't follow that no more. You just, no, because I can't put myself in a position where I'm seeing things that I don't need to say. I've been told y'all I don't listen to country music when I'm single. Country music make you want to be in love. It makes me want to be in love. But I'm not right now. So I don't listen to it. I love it, but I don't listen to it. Okay. All right, y'all. I'm going to bed. Well, I'm going to debrief. I'm going to do a little writing and stuff. Praying for y'all. Pray for me because I'm not perfect. And if I have been too harsh, I apologize. I just don't want anybody to walk on landmines because they are easy to step on, but not so easy to get your foot off and keep your leg. Oh, look, 71 years young. You still got like 120 to go. Come on, sis. You doing it. I love it. I love all of my seasoned saints that come and support me. Everybody have the best night. Love all y'all. And we'll see you. Like the video, share it, do all the things. Okay. See y'all next time. Bye now.